Hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, that was a little bit of dual wielding. So if I can't entertain you, I can at least entertain myself. Alright, so first off we're going to do is we're going to shoot the Keith bullets over the chronograph and the 158 grain Keith bullets and see what they're running. And then we're going to run the 110 grain Lee bullets and see what those are running from the with the HP 38. Now the Keith bullets, as you know, I'm running little gun. For those of you who have come in on this without seeing the reloading part, I'm running 16 grains of little gun with the Keith bullets from Arsenal Molds, and I'm running the 110 grain Lee bullet with 8.3 grains of HP 38. So let's see what these puppies will do. Alright, here we go. So we're going to put 5 over the Crony. This is the Keith bullets, 16 grains of little gun. And the next 5 shots are going to be the 8.3 grains of HP 38 with the 110 grain bullet. And then I'm going to shoot another one over the Crony as a surprise, and I'll tell you what that is next. Alright. Alright, so now we're shooting the HP 38 110 grain bullet. Put my earplugs back in. I ripped one out. Alright. Alright, as a surprise, I thought I would just go ahead and show you I'm just going to shoot a couple of rounds over the Crony just to show you what's possible with a 110 grain bullet with 21 grains of Winchester 296. So I thought I would, since I'm doing full house loads with the 158, I would shoot a couple of full house loads with the 296 and the 110 grain bullet. Let you see what that looks like. Alright. Alright. So now let's shoot a little bit into the cardboard, and we'll see what the muzzle flip looks like, and we'll see what the holes look like in the cardboard. Now these are the Keith bullets. Ooh, let me get my I pulled my earplugs out again. because that'd be loud. That'll work. Alright, now they're stuffed in there. Let's see what this see what these old Keith bullets look like. It's just offhand, so I'm not going for anything serious here. Yeah. Alright, it's it is what it is. It ain't beautiful, but it's not bad for just throwing some bullets down range. And these are the 110 grain HP 38. And then we'll stuff some down that ballistic gel. Alright. That wasn't bad for scattering them down range. Alright. Let's get that stuff in some ballistic gel. Let's see how these things expand. I got some soft ones, and we'll take a look at it. Yeah. Alright, first up is going to be the Keith bullets in the ballistic gelatin. We'll see if we need to shoot more than one. We'll take a shot and see. And then next up is going to be the Lock Miller. And these are soft lead. And we'll put some of the hard stuff in there too, maybe. We'll see what comes up. Let's take a shot. Oh, yeah, that sucker went through there. Ah, boy. Try it again. Take a look at what we got here. Make sure I got the right thing in there. I think so. Try it again. Okay. I think what I done is I put the wrong bullet in there on that first shot. I wasn't sure if I grabbed the right one or not. Anyway, now we got one. That's what the thing's supposed to do. Alright. So we have a Keith bullet. Now we're going to put a Lock Miller. I got this one labeled, by the way. Lock Miller. All right. I think that one spread out a little bit more, actually. So now we'll go ahead and shoot one of these 110 grains since they're cruising. That 1600 feet per second one I put in there. I'll shoot one of those through there. That's that one that was cruising. $110 grains. Yep. I believe we got it in there. That one's pretty sweet. Very interesting. We'll go ahead and we'll take one more shot with one of the Lock Miller, the hard bullets, the hard cast. I say it's hard cast. It's only 14, it may be 15. I don't want to put too many in here and not be able to find out where we're at. One more shot. All right. That thing actually stopped. I was thinking it would. The hard keys go right through there. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got some interesting stuff here, folks. I mean, I could do this all day. We will need to make another video of just shooting this ballistic gel. Okay, so what just happened? All right, we'll start. I'll try to start from the beginning. You know, first of all, we had to come in here. You know, it was the sun would come out, it would rain. The sun would come out, it would rain. Weirdest thing. Anyway, so you know, first of all, you know, on the chronograph, you know, we shot the first 5 shots was over the Chrony with the Keith bullet, and the darn thing started out with that 1394. It just sorry. But you know, the average was 1449, so we'll just call it 1450 on an average for that. You know, the high was 1478, but you know, that 1394 just threw it way off. So anyway, it's a good 1450 feet per second bullet, you know, out of and I did everything out of a 5-inch barrel. Now you seen whenever I was doing my dual wielding, I did it safely, right? Slowed down. It was just cool, that's all. So I did that. And I had one of those was a 6-inch barrel, but I didn't want to do that test with the 6-inch barrel because I knew that this 5-inch barrel was the middle of the road. So anyway, and then I done the 110 grain bullets with the HP 38, and and those came out to be, you know, the first shot, you seen it, the chronograph was like 681. Alright, the only thing I can tell you on that one is it was an error on the chronograph, okay? I mean, honestly. So the 681 was just an error, but when you're doing this thing and you got the camera on, you just got to go with it, and that's just what happens. There's no way it was 681. But, you know, the rest of them were, the last four was 1516, 1520, 1506, 1506. To me, that's the most beautiful, consistent group. I mean, you know, you can get on a chronograph. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you can't ask for much better than that. So I'm just going to go with that. You know, give it an average if you want to, but it's a, you know, 1,500 feet per second. It's a 1,500 plus feet per second bullet. That's what that is with the HP 38. And those are good. And those are good plinking rounds. You know, if you want to run some Magnum and don't want to use up too much powder and all of that kind of thing. And you can back those down too and play around. But you're only shooting 110 grains of lead. You know, so you're not using a lot of lead. And then I wanted to give you a little surprise and just kind of throw something a little extra in. You know, you guys been waiting on this shooting, and so I did the Winchester 296, and I put a full load in there. As far as I'm concerned, you know, there is data for it. You know, but we're shooting lead bullets here, so you know you gotta you know, make them safe. You know, and work your loads up and find out what's safe. But that was 21 grains of 296, Winchester 296, and so that's a full load. You know, powder touching the bullet, but you can compress that load a little bit. Just throwing that out there. Now that was with a 110 grain bullet. You know, and you know, I just fired two of them over there just to kind of show you what 296 can do for you with a 110 grain bullet and a 5-inch barrel. You know, and I got 1625 and 1609. That's really cool. You know, I mean, that's a screaming bullet right there out of a handgun. Okay, I just kind of throwing that out there. These are kind of different loads people don't do every day, and I just thought I'd do something a little different. That's all. There's data for this stuff. You got to look around, but again, we're shooting powder-coated bullets. There's no data for powder-coated bullets. But so always work your loads up. If you want to use these loads, you got to work your loads up for your gun and all of that. But you know, anyway, I was happy with the results. You know, even with the Keith bullet, you know, that 1394 throwing me off. I even had that 1424 in there. You know, the rest of them were 1472, 78, 77, and so, you know, the consistency there is possible if you're more careful and you weigh in everything properly and more careful. So I'm just throwing that out there. You can definitely, with these loads, be more careful and get some more consistency. But I thought it was pretty awesome. I was very happy with the results. Now, and the next thing that we done is we shot that cardboard. I'll show you that. Now, I wasn't trying to be no marksman. Maybe one of these days I'll show you, you know, my shooting skills. I'm kind of scared to be honest with you, but you know, I can shoot pretty decent. But that's not what this was about. I just wanted you to see. I used cardboard so you can actually see some good holes, see how the bullets land. And this was the Keith bullet right here. This one. And I threw one over here. That's okay. But you seen I was pulling double action, and because double action is the most fun way to shoot, in my opinion. I love shooting double action when I can. You know, if I'm going for bullseyes, I'll definitely be pulling the hammer back. I promise you. But double action's more fun. And you know, some guns shoot double action a lot better than others, obviously. That one does real good. This one is that was the Keith bullet from my Arsenal mold. It looked like the nose, you know, well, you'll see here. Look at this. This was now this was the bullet that was cruising at you know, 1450. You know, you can see. I mean, that's respectable. Offhand, double action from 14, 15 yards, whatever it was. It was something like that. And then here's the these were the 110 grain bullets that was cruising at 1500 feet per second. Man, they're punching holes through here like, I mean, you could take a paper puncher and wouldn't be able to make it look no better than that. Look at that. That's impressive, man. Wow. And, you know, the group's, the group is what it is, you know. That's good, you know. You know, for self-defense shooting, that's where you want it, right? So I'm just throwing that out there. That's pretty much how I practice to shoot. But there you go. I mean, look at them. I mean, them holes are just impressive, man. I was super stoked by that. And I'll try to show you. I'll try to show you this brass. I just randomly grabbed 2 of them. Okay, and I think. You know, I wanted to say that I get things mixed up sometimes, but this was supposed to be my full house loads with the little gun. There's the I mean, there's room left. You know, these Magnum primers, these Federal Magnum primers, they tend to flatten out more than pistol primers, and well, kind of like rifle primers tend to flatten out more. And there was the HP 38, just so you can kind of get a look of it. But you know, it's got a little shoulder left. These are full house loads, and in my opinion, these are maxed out. I'm just throwing that out there. You know, you guys do what you want to do, but these are maxed out loads in my opinion. I wouldn't put any more powder in it. So that was that, and then I had these were the two I fired with the 296 with the 110s. You know, I mean, that, you know, I'm not going to say whether there's room left there or not. You can be the judge of that, but man, they don't look bad at all. But you know, it's the sun's out, it gets dark. Whenever I fired those two, man, I had a big old flash of fire come out of there, you know, on those loads, you know, because it was getting dark, you know, it was just clouding up, wanting to rain. But that was pretty cool. But the shot felt good. The chronograph looked awesome. Obviously, you know, just above 1600 on both of them, and the brass looks good. But those are some different loads. I threw those out. Now, what's the bullets look like? Hold on a minute. Here's the bullets. Okay, number one. When we shot, the first one we shot went right through the ballistic gel. All right, it couldn't have went far past there. It dropped down somewhere, but I couldn't find the bullet. But I'm almost 100% sure that I grabbed one of the hard bullets and put it in there, and because the second one that I'd picked up, I had my blue tape that I love on it. So it indicated the soft lead. I'd marked it right away. You got to mark this stuff right away when you're dealing with a bunch of different softnesses and colors, and you know. Anyway, the first one went right through, and then we shot another Keith bullet, and it went into the ballistic gel all the way to 22 inches. It went in 22 inches. This is the bullet. That's the bullet right there. flat on the face. And you know, these weigh in at 158 grains. These bullets, pretty good. So this one's 156. So it lost approximately 2 grains of weight. All right, and these were right around 10 BHN. 10 BHN, you know, give or take a half or so. Could be give or take a point or so, but I know that these run, you know, right around 10. So and then the third one that I shot was the Lock Miller. Now it compressed a little bit more. This is the Lock Miller. It grew even more, and the Lock Miller, I think they're the pure lead Lock Millers were coming out to about 162, and so this one's a little over 160 grains. So it also lost 2 grains. That's the Lock Miller bullet. And I'll give you something else in a minute. You can see the rifling on there. Right there. But you see, it's I mean, that thing grew pretty good. Look at that mushroom on that thing. And I'll hold that other one back up again. This was the Keith. I'll hold it back up so you can see that. Now the Lock Miller design, you know, the bullet is a little bit longer because it has a gas check on it. So the bullet stacks a little better when it goes into the ballistic gel. It stacks. You know, that's why long rifle bullets are just you know, relentless. It's that stacking effect. So and then I shot the 110 grain. This is the 110 grain. Look at that thing, and it stopped in there. It stopped at where did that one stop? I think, good Lord, I'd have to go back and look, but it went a little bit farther, obviously. I think it was about, you know, 5 inches from going all the way through 32 inches of ballistic gel. See what that one did? You can see the color on it. That's that mixed color that I like to use. And that's a 110 grain bullet. And we'll weigh that thing. A 110 grain bullet ends up 103 grains, so it lost 7 grains in the process of cruising through there. Now that's the one. Remember I told you I was going to shoot that fast one through there, 1,600 feet per second. So it, I mean, it, you know. Anyway, the last one that I shot through was the Lock Miller, and that was the hard Lock Miller, the hard cast. I'm saying it's a hard cast. It's a 1415 BHN. It's a 1415 BHN, and so you can still make out a little bit of where the gas check would have been on this particular one. But you know, it did more of a cone than a mushroom. And so you know, so you can decide whether you want a bullet, you know, that's gonna stay together, you know, and penetrate, or if you want some expansion or no expansion. But you know, from everything that I've seen, you know, for good expansion, you want about 5 BHN less than your feet per second. That's kind of been the story, you know. So if you're going 10 BHN and you're sending a bullet at 1500 feet per second, that seems to be the optimum expansion rate, you know, for your, you know, BHN versus feet per second. So you know, that's been now all of this is consistent. I must say that I cheated, of course, because you guys know I cheat from time to time. I couldn't wait, you know, to do this video when I had some ballistic gel that I needed to melt down. So I just went ahead and shot some rounds into it, and so if you want to know if this is repeatable, here you go. They're all of these bullets expand. These are bullets that I fired through it in the past. These are all different bullets that have all stopped in the ballistic gel. As a matter of fact, these bullets right here, they only went just barely past the first block, kind of like the Lock Miller did. So it was, you know, around that 1700, that 17 inches, you know, an inch out of the block, and just kind of hit a board that was there and just fell down. That's pretty much how it happened. But it's consistent, you know, and that's why I knew that first bullet that I shot, I was like, that's a hard one, because I've already shot them in there. I know the egg stopped. There's no way it'll go through all of that gel at this BHN. So and then you know, if you want to know what one looks like after it hits a piece of steel, there's a chip. There you go. Just throwing that out there for you. You know, we're going to use these as like a Bitcoin on the channel. It'd be currency. So okay, where we're at. Okay, now real quick, I'm not going to hold you up forever. I know you want to see. You know, it's like, well, did it lead your barrel? All right. So this has had a few rounds through it. You know, a little bit more than what you've seen there, even. Not much more though. You can look at it. It's got, you know, it's got some smoke and carbon on it. You can see all the smoke and the carbon on it. So we'll just take a peek through it real quick. If I may be able to make this happen. Let's see. Grab a little card. Sometimes it's kind of nice if you gotta. You guys probably want to see the. We'll see. Maybe I can work something out here. I'm gonna try not to blind the mess here. Let's see. There we go. You can probably see that. I'll just spin this around. You can see inside the cylinder. Anybody that oh, I'm showing you the wrong side, aren't I? I'm all backwards. That's the side you want to see. Some of you guys are like, I don't want to see that side. You know what side to look through. Fortune Cookie's looking. He's like, that's not the side. Just kind of look through it there. And we'll see. Yeah, hit you with all that light. There you go. Probably see it better like that. There you go. Yeah, sometimes it's better just to have a light backdrop on it. Oh well. Okay, let's see if that works too. Somebody will be like, that's not how you do it. Anywho, you know, I mean, I don't see any in there. You know, there's probably a couple of things, you know, from left over from just not taking good enough care of it. Anyway, that's it. Barrel's nice and clean. As far as the sizing and not sizing, I mean, I just wanted to kind of throw this out there because I know there's an ongoing debate. Sometimes you gotta size them. The bullets aren't right. They're not gonna work good. So I just wanted to make that point. I wasn't you know, in my sizing, you know, in my reloading video, the one before this one, you know, about the sizing or not. Anyway, you can size or not size. The main thing is it's working for you and you're not letting. That's all. So I just I think I got through everything. That was a lot of fun. Again, it was just the rain, man. I had to run because I had a camera going. You can't shoot over that chronograph in the rain. A drop of rain hits that thing, and as a matter of fact, that could have been the problem with that one. Maybe a drop of rain, you know. That's all it takes is one little speck of rain, and you'll throw everything off. YouTube, we're gonna do some other stuff. You know, with we got the I still got 38 coming up. I'll try to throw a couple of wrenches in with the 38, and you know, I may throw a wrench in with another 357 round. I got a couple of ideas. I mean, I could probably do 357 38 all year. I mean, that's like the most loaded round on the planet. There's so much stuff you can do with that round, it's not even funny. So anyway, you've seen an example of it. You know, just some cool stuff. I mean, some hard-hitting rounds. That ammo that's a 100-yard bullet. You can kill a deer with that thing. And you know, I could aim and hit a deer at 100 yards with this 5-inch barrel. With a little bit of practice, anybody can. But you know, whatever your comfort level is, you don't want to wound an animal. But I'm just saying that this ammo, that's good stuff, and it's traveling. And you know, at 160 grains a pop, that's a respectable shot. Anyway, we'll do some cool stuff with. I got 38 coming up. YouTube, I will see you in the next video.